So y'all, I want to share something with y'all really quick. Can I capture your attention and your ears for just a moment, maybe 10 minutes, if that. But I wanted to share something with you. I'm reading Daniel right now, and I'm reading chapter 4. In chapter 4, this is where Nebuchadnezzar has his second dream, and Daniel is called to translate or to, tell him what the dream means. And so he tells Daniel his dream, and then Daniel, God gives him provision, and he knows what the dream means. So then he tells Nebuchadnezzar what the dream means, and basically telling Nebuchadnezzar that you're sitting too high, you think too much of yourself, and you think you are ruler of everything. But the Lord my God will humble you, and he will take this kingdom from you. But when you realize and you humble yourself and you give all praises to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, he will give it back to you. So in this dream, I'm just going to give you a brief description of the dream. In the dream, he describes his tree. He describes the branches are full. The branches are full of leaves. There's fruit. People are eating from this tree. The animals are covered in this tree and all these things. And then all of a sudden the tree is chopped down. The tree is chopped down, and the only thing left when the tree is chopped down is the branches. Not the branches, I'm sorry. Only thing left with the tree when the tree is chopped down is the stump and the roots. And the significance of that is that, and Daniel told him the significance of that is your kingdom will be taken from you for a moment of time, but you will get it back only when you acknowledge. So he told him, like, this is what your dream means. Your kingdom will be taken, but it will be given back to you only when you acknowledge that it's not yours and yours alone, but it belongs to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. So fast forward, Nebuchadnezzar is walking on his rooftop, and then all of a sudden he's looking at his kingdom and he's admiring it and giving all praise and glory to himself for the kingdom. And in that moment, he hears a voice from the heavens, and the Lord tells him, "You are no longer ruler over this kingdom, and you will be driven out of human society." So at that moment, he is driven out of human society, and he tells him, "You will be driven out for seven periods of time, and that you will live in the fields with the wild animals, and you will eat the grass like the cows." So he's completely removing him out of his kingdom where he is comfortable, where he feels like he's running everything. He's taking him out of a space of comfortability, out of a space of him feeling like he's in charge and he's running everything, and he has his hands on everything, and he can control everything. So basically taking him out of a space of control, right? So he takes him out of that space of control, and he tells him, like, you are going to do this until you realize and you acknowledge, right? So let's think about this. A lot of times when I was reading this, it took me to humility, right? Being humbled, knowing that I have all this because of God, not because of who I am. I am not living because of who I am and the things I do and the things how I take care of myself. I'm living because my Father has breathed breath into my lungs, and he chose to give me a new day. He chose me to wake up this morning and to continue out. Like, it's not all of me, but all of him. So fast forward, Nebuchadnezzar is in this judgment that has been placed upon him for the 7 periods of time. And then at this time, it says in 434, it says, after this time has passed, Nebuchadnezzar looks up to the heaven. So mind you, he's been in exile, kind of, sort of. Everything has been taken away from him. He is at the lowest of the lowest, and he's on his back, and he has no other option but to look up. So think about when God takes everything from you, and you have no option but to go to your Father and go to him. You have to humble yourself and be like, I can't do this. This is not me. I had no hands in this. And you go to your Father and you humble yourself and you tell your Father, Lord, it is you and not me. All right. So after it says, after this time has passed, Nebuchadnezzar looks up to the heaven and his sanity returns and he praises and worships the Most High and honor the one who lives forever. So once he realizes, and these seven periods have passed, he realizes it's not me, this is all God. And his sanity is returned, right? So then it says, he goes on to say, his rule is everlasting and his kingdoms are eternal. All of the people of the earth are nothing compared to him. He does as he pleases, speaking of God. And he pleases amongst the angels and amongst in heaven and on the earth. So he does what he wants to do, not what I want him to do. And no one can stop him or say to him, what do you mean by doing these things? The things that God do, we just follow. We don't ask questions. We don't wonder. We go. We don't ask him why. We just do. So it says, and it goes on to say, when my sanity returned to me, so did my honor and the glory in my kingdom. So when he realized and he humbled himself and he realized that it wasn't him doing everything, it was God. God gave him everything back. And it was all restored. He was the head of his kingdom and at an even greater honor than before. Right? So I want to stop there and I want to close this out by saying this. Some of us are walking in a space where we feel like we are humble, but we are not. And if we do not ask our Father and go to him and ask him, Lord, show me this place, show me the areas in which I need to humble myself, and then allow him to help us humble ourselves, because the last thing you want to do is have the Lord place you on your back or to put you in a position where you have no choice but to humble yourself. It's never good to be forcefully humbled, but it's always great to do it on your own. And this does not mean do things on your own. This means humble yourself and allow the Lord's will to work in your life instead of him humbling you and him placing his will at work in your life, because you never want that. It's easier to just do it than to have God force our hand. And I wanted to share that because I think humility is so important when it comes to our walk with Christ. I feel like we have to humble ourselves and realize that none of this we have is of our own, but of the Lord. So I just want to encourage you to pray, talk to the Father, pray, ask God, Lord, if there anywhere in my life, anything that I have my hand on where I'm praising it more than you and I'm giving glory to myself for where I am in life, whether it's you being successful or whatever the case may be, and I'm not giving glory and honor back to you because it is because of you I am here, then I encourage you to humble yourself. Humble yourself and give honor to God because he is the reason why and not you. So today, the word for today is humility. I want you to pray and I want you to ask God, Lord, is there an area of my life where I need to humble myself? And if there is, Lord, give me the steps and take me through it so that I can humble myself. Again, I was reading in Daniel, and it's Daniel 4, the entire chapter. The first part of the chapter talks about the dream. Nebuchadnezzar describes his dream, and then it talks about him describing the dream to Daniel. And then it shows Daniel revealing to him what the dream means, and then it goes through him going through those seven periods, and then him humbling himself and praising God. And it also goes to say that he praised this last part. Nebuchadnezzar praised and glorified and honored God in the heaven, and all his acts were just and true, and he was able to he is able to humble the proud. So now he's doing the humbling. Come on now. I mean, I tell you, the Lord is amazing. God is so good, and he is so gracious with us, but we have to honor him, because after he humbled him, then everything moving forward was all glory and honor to God. So I, again, encourage you, ask God, Lord, where are the areas of my life where I need to humble myself, and allow him to show you, and humble yourself and give those areas back to God. Love y'all. Have a happy Wednesday.